So in the Dreamweaver Assignment 4, you guys will be adding dynamic and interactive content to your websites. Let's get to it. I've already gone ahead and copied all of my Assignment 3 folder information over into Dreamweaver Assignment 4. I've also copied over the course from OneDrive. So in that file, there's a .xml and a .xsd, and we will go through those in a bit. So for right now, you should have Assignment 3 copied over. I called it Assignment 4, and I'm just going to rename some of these. So index ls, I'm going to add this as 4. And I'm going to put this about us also as A4, so I know what I'm working with here. I'm going to leave my single page and styles because I have those in this folder, and I'll make sure that they link when I open up my site manager. So now that I have that all done, it says to replace the type Assignment 3 child. So we don't have an Assignment 3 child page, but we do have our template. So you should have template -1. And that is, and then our child page is the about page, meaning it's not a main page, it's a secondary page. A child page could also be like sub pages. So if you had a portfolio and then you had sub pages where you had print, web, social media, whatever, like a whole bunch of different headings, you could use a child page to create those 4 sub pages so that they're consistent in their wireframe and layout. So here we go. So in step 2, it says format as heading 2. So call it Dreamweaver Assignment 4. So you're going to replace the name. So we're going to go in and get our file opened up here. I'm going into my Dreamweaver, and up at the top menu, site, I'm going to say new site. And I may already have this one created actually. So I might go to manage sites instead and just see what I have for names in here. So I don't have one called Assignment 4, so I'm going to do that. New site. So if you didn't see that, there's import site or new site. So I'm going to say new site, and then I'm going to call this Assignment 4 tutorial this time. And it doesn't matter what you name the site name, as long as it makes sense to you so you know what website you're working on when you open up your site manager. So in here, Dreamweaver, I'm going to go right into the last folder I need, which is Assignment 4 -ls. And then I have my about HTML and my index, my templates, my images, my JavaScript, my cascading style sheet folders all in there as well. So I will make sure that that's the right one and say choose. And then I will say save. And then I will say done. Now you see in the top right under the files tab, I have my site 4 tutorial folder there. And then I have my index, my about page, and all those folders. So I'm going to open up my index page first and just make sure everything is functioning properly. I might have to update some of my links, but no, it looks good. I look down here I'm in HTML, and it says here beside to the left, there's a green check mark. So meaning no errors. That's a good thing to check for. I'm also going to do the same for my CSS. So I click on the top under the index HTML, I click on CSS, and then I go back down to this area, and in my CSS code, it again says no errors. So I know that's good and functioning properly. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is look for my about page. So I'm going to go double click this page. So this is my about page. Notice how now I have 2 tabs open. So I have one index and one about. Watch these when you're working that you're on the right pages. So all I did, I changed the background in my index, in this index page, or sorry, in the about page. I'm going to go back to the index, and that one's going to change. I'm going to change that one back to a different color, just so that when you flip from home to about to contact, you kind of know you're on a different page. So if they have the same visual input, you won't really know between this and this. You can't really tell other than the code. You can't tell that they're different pages. So going back to my index page, one of the changes I'm going to make is clicking on my section class hero. And this is going to change it in my main CSS. So I have to figure out another way to do that. If I can find my container here. Nope, right there. So as you can see, if I select section class hero, I'm going to actually add a new rule. So I'm going to click that and say, yeah, I'll call it main banner or home. Actually, I'll just call this one home. That's what I'll do. So I'm going to put dot home, hit enter again, go to the top right, click on my CSS designer, and find my newly created rule. So I'm going to go home, and I'm going to click on that. And again, there's nothing under properties yet because I have to uncheck the show set. And then I'm going to go to my background. So in my background color, I'm going to sample the purple. So I'm going to click on my little sampler tool here and click, and it gives me the color there. So then when I scroll, that sampler tool is going to stay in the same spot. So I know that the color adjustment is going to kind of match that same tone, right? So it'll be similar in tone. And that's what I want to do. So I'm going to select this one. It doesn't look as much like icing as I wanted it to look like, so maybe we'll stay in that blue range. So I'll make this one a bluer. We'll just check to see how different that looks. Not enough. So again, I'm going to go to the home. And under my background, I'm going to select, let's go with that color. So there we go. Those are a bit different. So you can tell that this one and this one, so I guess they're a little bit different because this one says Adobe CC course and this one says Jane Doe. So I could also put that this is Dreamweaver CC course, and then I could put the about page in here. Maybe I would I might put in a break here so it falls onto the next line. Oops. I have to make sure I'm actually in my coding to type that and not in my, there we go. So there we go. So I have that there. And then I can always add like emphasis here. Like that. So then I'm going to save all. So I have that done. So I have my two different, so I have a couple of visuals going on where you're going to be able to tell when you click on the page that it's a different page, right? So you want to have that, you want to have multiple visual cues as to where you are in your website. So the next thing, I'll just bring up, I will have this opened in the background. So this is your outline for assignment 4. So the next thing, so it says format has heading 2 for the child Dreamweaver assignment. I'm not too concerned right now. It's a heading 1. So I could do that for this really easily by just going into the coding at the bottom here and changing that to a 2 at the beginning and a 2 at the end. So you have your opening to heading 2 and your closing heading 2. And then I would say save all. And it didn't really change too much here because we have the class as main header, content H1. So because we have that on our heading 2, it's not really going to, it's going to take what we have as a rule first. So I'd have to take off those rules to create, to use the H2 heading. Next, replace insert content here with the complete all forms. So we don't have the insert content here anymore. We are going to insert a new paragraph after the word form. So we will input this information, but we have to figure out where on our own. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to actually make a new page. Up in I kind of jumped ahead, and up in step 1, it said create a new child page using the template you created in assignment 3. So what I really wanted to do is make sure that this is all functioning the way that I want it to before I get too far ahead of myself. So I'm going to go back to our Files tab on the top right. I'm going to go to Templates, and I'm going to make sure my template is there. Go to File, New. Then you're going to go down to Site Templates, and you'll see that assignment 4 that we created in the site map, and then it says Template 1. So we're going to click Create. And so here's our template. Notice how it says it's untitled. So I'm going to actually save this as Contact Us, or Contact Page. I'll just put contact. Oh, I need lowercase. So Contact -ls A4. So I just want to make sure that I know that this is for this page .html. And then you can just save. So now we can go in here and like we have an assignment 4, I can actually grab this information from assignment 2. So I'm just going to grab this heading 2 here. And I'm going to back to my contact, and I'm going to put it in my contact page. So it's the same. So under your paragraphs on line 42, maybe not the same line for you though. So just always keep that in mind. That I'm going to I'm just pasting in that main header that says Dreamweaver course CC about page. I'm going to change that to contact page. And I'm going to change this to Dreamweaver CC. I'm going to put A4 behind it just so that I know that this is for assignment 4. This is my additional page. And then I'm going to go save all, and I'm going to check that out. So I'm going to go down to preview and say open in Google Chrome. And you can see it says save all the files, including related to preview. So it's not working. That means that it's not working at the moment. So we'll have to figure out why that is. And what you can do, so this is what I sometimes do, is I'll go to my main files where I started contacting or creating everything, and I double click from there. It will still open in a browser. So sometimes this will make it work and sometimes it won't. If it doesn't, if you do it a different way, so it actually is working because it's showing me here that it's working. It's just not working from Dreamweaver right now. So keep that in mind when you're creating these, but sometimes it may not work. Try it a different way first. Now that I have that information placed in here, now I can go back to my outline and I can copy over this, insert this content. So we're going to be creating a form field. So down in my web page, I'm going to be taking out a little bit of more information here. So I'm actually I want to put in my contact information in this section here. So this is called a section about. Once I select this, you can see that this is all in section about. So I can click on here on line 46 where my section starts. And then in here it says that there's a header class hidden about. So meaning like that part's not showing. And the next one is a P class text column. So I'm going to take out all of these P class. I'm actually going to leave the paragraph there because I'm going to add that information that I just put in where it says insert content. So I'm going to just paste in, oops. And you know what? I have to put a closing. There we go. So now I have this information in there. And although it's not what I want it to look like yet, we'll worry about that a bit later. We're just for now putting in all the information that is necessary. The next thing that I want you to do is insert the word, a new paragraph after the word form. So we're going to create another paragraph. And actually, I can make this one a heading. So let's just do this. So heading 2 and heading 2. And then I'm going to make this a paragraph that says, that's going to be, this is my contact form. Okay, so we have that all set, ready to go. Now, in the next step here is insert a form, set the ID as course. So to do that, you're going to make sure that your insertion point is in the right spot. So I'm just going to hit return and go up. So instead of insert tab, we're going to go to the insert menu. So if you can't find something in the insert tab, make sure you go to the insert menu, and then it should say form. Oh, there it is. I'm just blind. Insert form. So then it also says to make sure that you apply it as, you're going to apply an ID, so like a rule called course. So I'm going to set a form here. Oh, and notice how my cursor moved. So that might not be in the right spot. So I'm going to undo that. I'm going to go back down to my section because that moved, and I want to paste this in here, like form. So now we have our form tag started. We want this form to have an ID tag of, so what you're going to do there is up in CSS, you click on that and scroll down to the bottom where you're going to put in an ID tag. So an ID tag is going to be hashtag course. And you're going to have a curly bracket, and then you're just going to hit return and leave it like that for now. So we want to create a new compound class called .content and hashtag course. So let's find .content first and see if we have that already created. So we do have a content H1, P1, and those. So no, we don't have that. So we're also going to create a .content, and so now that I have that done, it says set the left and right margins to 25. So I want to say here, margin left 25 pixels. And you know, it just says 25. So we'll have to play with that because maybe it's not 25 pixels. Maybe you get to pick 25 rem, 25 pixels, whatever looks best for you. So I'm going to just see what this looks like in my information. So I'm going to go back to my CSS designer and my source code. So in my source code, I have my form. I'm going to say ID equals course, and then we will have to inset some of the form when we get to it. We're going to have our contact information in here. So we'll have email me at, and then we're going to actually insert something here, like after email me. This is where we're going to put a form. We're going to put the information that they can type in. Actually, I'm going to call this send me an email. And then I'm going to have the information. It also says to have their name, phone number. The phone number is going to be like how they need to insert the phone number. So now that we have that information here, oops, we're going to save all. We also are going to have in here, and I'm not doing the contact form completely yet, I'm just having all the information ready to go. The next thing you also have to have in here is at least 3 campuses. So this will probably be a drop down eventually. But inside your form field here, what we want to do is insert email. So making sure that your name, behind the word name, it says input type email, right? Under behind the word phone, you're going to have insert form, and we're going to have a number. We're going to have the campus list also, and that is going to be an insert form. We'll do checkboxes. So as you can see, it's kind of creating these little fields in here. And again, we'll play with those a bit more. I'm going to put a break in here after where it says send us an email. I'm going to put send us an email. I'm going to save all along the way. And it says campus list. So I need 3 campuses in here. So I'm actually going to copy this 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to change those later. So obviously I'm going to have this as an unordered list because I want these campuses in an unordered list here, like so. So there's my campus list. And then I'm going to have, it says to have select a start date. So we're also going to insert a frame set. So insert form again, and then you're going to, oh, this says field set. I want a select button. So select start date. I'm just going to put it in the middle of there. So you'll see here it has like a scroll down bar here. And I'm just going through this right now. So I've added a contact information with my name, email, phone number, or for them to fields that have name, email, phone number. Do I have all those? Oh no, I have name and phone number, and I don't have their email. So I also have to add that in there. I don't have that yet. Oh, this is where I put email. So, whoops. I'm also going to have name here. So under insert, you're going to go to form again, and then you're going to put text area right here, text. So this is just going to say, it's just going to give a little area to insert your name. Email could be a bit bigger, so I might have to do that under the word email, type email. We'll worry about that later. We're going to worry about making it look good later. Right now, we just want to put in all of the information. So the next on our list here, to-dos, is, it says to insert a frame set head. This is actually a little bit older. We haven't done too much anymore as they changed some of the tools, so it's a little bit easier. So you have to have your preferred session, and that's where I put my start date. So this is like, I could be putting in here preferred session. And I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to have another one that is for start date. So I have a preferred session, a preferred, and then I have my start date. So 2 separate lists. So this is going to be include a list menu to select the preferred campus. Do not allow multiple selections. So we have to make sure that we put that in there when we're coding. And checkboxes to select the start date. Oh, and I need checkboxes like I have the campus list. So in my campus list, I need to have a checkbox instead. So copy, I'm actually going to have start date. I'm going to have it in here. So that's my start date. And I'm going to give them this is going to be fall, winter. Actually, I'm just going to give 2. There we go. So I have fall and, or what would it be? Spring, fall, and winter? Winter term would start, yeah. So those are my 2 start dates. I'm going to save this now, save all. Go back down to my outline. So include at least 3 campuses, 3 start dates, and 3 class times. So 3 campuses, I have 3 campuses here, 3 start dates. So I'm going to say fall, winter, and spring. And 3 class times. So I think I have times. Oh, that's my campus list. Oh, the drop down menu. So this one right here, preferred session. So in the preferred session, I can have my class times, and this can be AM, PM, or actually I'm going to put morning, afternoon, evening. So that drop down menu will eventually have that information in. But it also says to add a submit and clear form button. So at the bottom of this, I'm going to have a insert a submit button, and then I'm going to insert a reset button. So I'm going to put those in their own there we go. I might put these in their own section, so I might create little div tags in between here. So I could do that too, and then it will give me the option to kind of create some space between each of them. So I could do that so that it's easier to understand like where everything is. So the first part here is going to be a div tag that has the name, email, phone number. Then we're going to have an unordered list for the campuses, which should also be in another div tag. And there's my ending div tag for that same start date. Okay. So this one's kind of in one more. There we go. So now that I have that, I'm going to save all. And I can say, I can kind of add classes to these as I go. I'm going to also take out this information down here. That's the gallery. I'm going to leave the gallery, but I'm just going to take out the information inside of the gallery and probably make it a bit smaller. So it will just be space there. It won't be anything other than that. So I have to actually go find that, and that's all right here. So this is in here. So there's that information. And now I just have, so then I just have my form in this, on this page. So I can go ahead and set all of this up so that it looks nice. This is just the basics of how to create all of the forms. You guys will be in charge of making it look consistent with your web page. So when you set the form action, you want to do, we added the submit and clear button. So it says set the form action to accommodate different email programs. So email form PHP should thank the user for signing up for the class and include the following. So you have to add that as the form action. So to put a form action in, so I'm going to go into my form here. I'm going to go find my form. Here we go. So in this input here, you can add text. You can add your inputs here. So if I click on the text information, notice how in my properties, it has a bunch of information in here. If I click on my input, it gives me the same, oh, it's telling me right now I have an error. The tag must be paired. So I better fix that before I get too far. So on 116, it's saying I had one too many div tags. So I'm just going to save that. So always keep an eye out for that.